stuff, and yeah. But anyway, let me get to Priest Danyaahla and this stuff about DNA, because it's kind of funny. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Priest Danyaahla is the homie. You know, we just go back and forth, but you know, I have no hate for him. It's just, you know, information.
Yeah, we know that. Let's talk about it.
Bobbleheads online that hate Israelites, they tell you yes. They tell you yes. If you want to prove you're an Israelite, you got to do a DNA test. You sound stupid as hell. I said,
who says that? I want to know who says that. Who says you got to do a DNA test to prove that you're an Israelite? Who says that?
I don't know. I don't think they have any DNA from ancient Israelites. No.
Yeah, yes, actually they do.
They do?
Yeah, they have samples. They have samples. Yeah. It's very sensitive, but I have to be honest. The reason why they say it, we gotta be honest with it. The reason why they might say to my good brother Priest is that there is a reputation and there is an ammunition that they use as far as data, right? So modern day communities, right? Say for example, the Sephardic went to Yugoslavia, they went to Bulgaria, they went to Morocco, they went to Israel, modern day Israel is. They went to Egypt. They went to different areas, the Sephardic Jews. All right. So what happened is those communities exist today. So when they take samples from them today or from the past in those communities are speaking a version of biblical Hebrew. They're speaking Hebrew or I should say, what do they call it? Judeo-Arabic. Judeo-Arabic is repleted with biblical Hebrew. Because what happened is, when they said Hebrew wasn't a language, it was a dead language, it really wasn't dead. People just didn't speak it on an everyday basis. But what happened is, in the 600s of the Common Era, the Masoretes, what they did was they created a Nikud system. I think it's called Nikud, where they put the diacritic marks in the words to keep the pronunciation. It's like Garfield is saying, Mika, come and we'll go down on the road. It's like Jamaicans have a different dialect. We speak English, but we have a dialect that's connected to the Twi language in Ghana. So what happened is, to keep the Twi language alive in Jamaica, we would put some dots to keep the pronunciations. So when we say go down the road, we mean let's go down the road. But we said go down on the road. So to keep the go down on the road, we have to add dots in the English language to keep the pronunciations. It's the same thing with Hebrew. So we wouldn't say go down the road. The diacritic marks would put say go down, to keep the go down instead of let's go down. We would put a diacritic mark to keep that down sound. The same thing with Hebrew. So what happened is, the Hebrew, the diacritic marks is to keep the pronunciation of words. So when people say the diacritic marks, like when like Zion can't read Hebrew without the diacritic marks. He said it on a video. I could play the video so y'all could hear. So what we say is the diacritic marks keep the pronunciations of the Hebrew. But the people that spoke the Hebrew were the liturgical class, the people that dealt with like the temple and was the leadership in a rabbinical sense. So they kept the Hebrew language going on for a long time. They kept it. That's how the guy was able to revive it and put it together. So what people talk about, that the Hebrew that they speak in Israel today is different because you have new words that they had to add to Hebrew. But don't pay that no mind about the whole Yiddish thing. Yes, there's Yiddish that's mixed with the whole German, whatever. But that's different. We're talking about Hebrew that they used to speak in the past. It's still spoken throughout history, but people had to use diacritic marks to keep the pronunciations. That was the purpose of it, not to change the language, but to keep it in effect. That's what Zion Lex was talking about with the Lashawan Kodash and the argument. That's what he was trying to purvey to the people. But listen, those communities that speak Judeo-Arabic, like the Babylonian communities, the Persian communities, the communities in Europe, what happened is They kept the Hebrew, but the thing is, they when these communities arise today, remember this about Israelites. I'm gonna put a word on the screen so that we could see the definition. The word is endogamous. I'm gonna put it on the screen so everybody could see it. I'm gonna take this off the screen. I'm gonna take the video off the screen. I'm gonna look at the definition of this word. And the reason why this is important for everybody who studies history, the reason why this is important, I'm gonna read the definition and you're gonna see why. Endogamous describes the custom or practice of marrying only within a specific social, ethnic, religious, or tribal group. It refers to in-marriage, often used to maintain cultural, genetic, or social boundaries, such as in the Amish, Jewish, or insular island population. It is often contrasted with exogamy, marrying outside a group. Key details and usage: cultural, religious restriction. The community holds strict endogamous beliefs, requiring members to marry only within their religious sect. This is important to understand Hebrewisms and history. So this is why when you say you left from North Africa, right? This is why I call myself the teacher. When you leave North Africa and go into Africa to go into West Africa, remember you are an endogamous cult. You normally sleep with one another. This is why when I got in America, I worked in the human services field with people with what we used to call mental retardation or mental health issues. Because when you're an endogamous culture, the Jews created these group homes. Felix and Paul Warburg, who loaned money to Adolf Hitler, used to have agencies that they created like FEGS, Jewish Board of Family or Children Services, to provide a service for what? For people with mental retardation or developmental disabilities. Because the people who have endogamous communities, the Amish in them, have a high risk of people who are developmental disabled, because you are sleeping with people within your neighborhood, your culture, your family. So you're sleeping with your cousins. So that creates an environment of developmental disability peoples. So this is why Africans never used to sleep with their cousins on a regular basis. So when you having, like my brother Law just put on the screen, yes, because they were having sex with their own loved ones. So this is why when Garfield puts this on the screen, let me go to this thing right here real quick, down the bottom of my screen real quick. Let me get this and put it on the screen. I put it on the screen every week just to make a point. And this endogamous argument that I'm making makes the point even better for me. Look at this map that I show every week. People say, oh, Garfield, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, bud. Let me make it bigger so everybody could see. I'm teaching today. Y'all going to learn a little bit today. I'm teaching today. Anybody want to come on? If you want to challenge what I'm saying, that's fine. It's all good. I still like y'all. This is why I know when I speak about the communities in you guys might not want to hear what I'm saying because it gets away from what you hold to as far as your belief. But this is why this is important. This is the Catalan Atlas. And the reason why it's important because it documents the communities in the world where the Jews are. Documents the communities. So they didn't document any community per se in West and Central Africa for Jews. Because, you know, people argue all the time, oh, there was Jews in West Africa. Okay, 1375, this community didn't know it. It's telling you who is in West Africa. At the bottom of the screen on the left, in the middle left, you see Mansa Musa.